All right, Genesis Part 2. It is a month or two away from us from release, and we are aware of about 12 creatures that are either getting an X variant or getting an alternative X variant in the form of in the case of the woolly rhino. But the Bronto, Compy, Dilo, Equus, Glowbug, Pelagornis, Pteranodon, Quetzal, Reaper, Seeker, and Stegosaurus are also either appearing or getting some kind of X variant. Now we are aware of the Reaper, Dilo, and Equus getting an X variant. Now why it would be interesting to see a woolly rhino get like a volcanic appearance or even a bog appearance. Now we know nothing about the true nature of these elemental areas. Maybe some of these are more harmful than others, but who knows? Now, this list is just some creatures that I selected that either I like or it would be interesting to see some kind of elemental version of it in the game. Now, some of these creatures have gotten TLCs already, some have not. But that being said, that's neither here nor there at this point. I will mention if these creatures need a TLC of some kind since I'm talking about them, or if they are just fine the way they are. Now, without further ado, let's just jump right into this darn thing with the first creature, shall we? Alright, the Dinoticus. Now, this is a creature that hasn't shown up on any other map and is exclusive pretty much to Valguero for some reason. An X variant of this creature would be really, really cool, and would also be the first time we get a creature that is not from a paid DLC map onto the actual story mode. It is a very interesting dynamic and a very, very unique opportunity. The Griffin also has this, but the Griffin is not part of this video because I only wanted to pick one creature from the free DLCs, and I guess the Ice Wyvern is looped in with the other wyverns, and that's already part of the story, I guess. So I guess seeing the Ice Wyvern wouldn't be too bad. In fact, seeing all three of them wouldn't be too bad, I suppose. But anyways, the Deinonychus. You could do a lot with this thing as far as variation in colors. I mean, look at what happened with the Tyrannus and woolly the woolly rhino, the saber, all very very feather-like or furry creatures that you arguably could alternate in some form. And the Deinonychus is just a raptor with basically rock drake feathers everywhere, so really you can have a lot of fun with it. Heck, you can even do something with the skin tone. Maybe that is a region that wasn't available in the regular one, but it's available on this one. I don't know, just different ideas, different things that you could really do with this creature. It's very fun. I really like the Deinonychus. It is one of my favorite creatures of all time in this game, as far as the free DLCs are concerned. But, this creature is a creature I wouldn't mind seeing a part of Genesis Part 2 and being a part of the lineup of creatures that get a new X variant. And, this next creature is also a creature that is a fan favorite of mine, or is a favorite of mine rather, and is also a favorite of Night Stalker and maybe Lone Wolf as well. Let's go. Up next we have the Thylacoleo. I'm totally kidding. We have the Thylacoleo. The marsupial lion, a really cool creature that recently got a bleed attack, but hasn't gotten a TLC, and there is no other variation of this creature. So an X variant, like with the Deinonychus, would be really, really good. Now, of course, this thing would work on Aberration. I don't think either, but with the climbing ability and the fact that also this thing doesn't have the resistance to the radiation, so it wouldn't work on Aberration. But an X variant of the Thylacoleo would be really, really cool. Like I said, with the Deinonychus, you could really do a lot with the feather pattern. I guess in this case, the fur patterns. And also, it would be really, really cool to just see this guy get some more attention from the developers. Maybe even get a TLC of some kind. Well, I don't think this thing is necessarily a new model or anything, but Thylacoleo is a really cool creature, and I would love to see more variations of it. Maybe some spots like the saber. I don't know. But yeah, that's the Thylacoleo. Any other ideas? Do let me know in the comment section below. Up next, the Therizinosaurus, or Therizino, or Edward Scissorhands, or the Murder Chicken. Okay, this thing has a lot of nicknames, alright? But anyways, this guy, like the Thylacoleo, has no other variation. It also has not gotten a TLC of any kind. But I think the only thing you could really TLC with this thing is maybe that head. I don't know, but make the hands bigger. I don't know how you can make the Therizino's hands bigger, but you know. But anyways, an X or even aberrant variant of this creature would be really, really cool. I mean, heck, look what happened with the dire bear. That guy got added to aberration much later down the line as an X variant. Same with the Gigantopithecus. So why not the Therizino? Besides, like another creature that is on this list, it could definitely do with some kind of X variant. It would be really cool. You can even put it in, I would say, the bog. Maybe if there's a bog biome in Genesis Part 2, I doubt it, because nobody likes the bog in Genesis 1. I don't, and I think the only reason anyone would even go to that first biome would be for the bog spider and the X variants that are there. But anyways, the Therizinosaur, some cool striping, maybe some different patches or fur designs on the furry, like feathery areas would be really neat. And I don't know. There's a lot of things you can do with these creatures, and the Therizino is another one of those guys. Now, I think this guy should definitely be a TLC 4. I mean, if I were to do an addendum to my part 1, the Therizino would definitely be a part of it. And I don't really have much ideas as far as patterns are concerned, but you know what? This is the ARC devs. They're pretty creative when they want to be. So yeah, Therizinosaur. All right, the Direwolf, a creature that just has gotten a TLC already. He was a part of TLC, I want to say 2, or is it 1? Either way, it was a part of one of the TLCs that came out already. And this guy is really cool. And like with the Therizinosaur and the Dinoticus, there is no other variant of this creature. I mean, I don't see this guy working on aberration. I mean, heck, the Saber's not even there either. So I mean, maybe you can work in something on Genesis Part 2. I mean, like with the saber, there's a lot you can really do with the fur patterns. The same thing we said with the other two the other 3 entries on this list. And I think you could really go fully nuts. Maybe you could do like 2 extra regions on this guy. Maybe there's like the paws itself can be a region, or the tail in the back, and like some of the chest, it can be part of the reason, and the face is one region. I don't know that there's a lot you can really do with creatures that only have 3 regions. I mean, look at the saber; it's got 4, but look at the X saber; it's got like 6. It's got the full 6 regions. So I think you could really go nuts with the saber, with the direwolf. I would love to see an X version of the direwolf, and I know a lot of people are direwolf fans. I am one of them, and that's why he's on the list. But I would very much love to see an X variant of the dire wolf. It could be really cool. Really a lot of fun, really fun stuff, and maybe even like, I don't know, maybe an alpha dire wolf at some point. I don't know. That could be really cool. I mean, come on, this is the end of the story. Come on, go ham or go home, right? Or does it go hard? Whatever. And now the Mammoth. Now, it, along with the Stegosaurus, was just received a TLC, and the Stegosaurus is possibly getting a X variant in Genesis Part 2, so why not the other creatures that just recently got a new design and new look and everything? I think it'll be really cool, and like with the dire wolf and the other entries on this list, you can really go ham with the fur designs and everything else. And heck, maybe you can even put some striping on the tusks. I mean, I don't know. There's so much you can do with a woolly mammoth of any kind, really, even this one. So, ooh, maybe you know what? This is a good opportunity as well to maybe even for X mammoths to remove those 2 horns that are like sticking upwards. I mean, maybe it could work, and then you could have those long tusks that go straight out, much like the elephant of today. That could be really cool too. So you can get some literal variation between it and the normal version, But the Mammoth is really cool, and I would love to see some kind of variation or X variant to Justice Part 2. Lol. And we have the Megatherium, one of my top 3 favorite herbivores in this game. It has not received an aberrant or an version either, so an X variant would definitely be really, really cool for this creature. I mean, this thing is already really powerful, especially against bugs, with its bug boost thingy doodle or whatever you want to call it. This guy is really, really cool, and I would love to see him get some kind of variation. Like with the Mammoth, the Direwolf, and the other creatures on this list, you could go ham with it. Maybe those little those veins that you're seeing on the upper torso and that such, maybe that could be a region. The little eye patch looking bit over the eye, that could be a region. The hands could be a region. You could really just add some like maybe design patches, much like the XUT has. There's so much you can do with these creatures that already have fur on them. So really, there's the possibilities are endless. Again, look at the saber, look at the Uti, look at the woolly rhino. These creatures are spectacular looking, and creatures that have fur on them, you can really go nuts with. And I love the possibility. The Megatherium could also work on aberration. You're dealing with lots of bugs, so why not get an aberrant variant as well? You can put the whole light piping deals on along its back and on the rib cage maybe. But yeah, Megatherium definitely deserves some more attention from the devs. Now, this is an interesting one because I've only ever spoken about the Capro in sarcastic tones, and I've only ever actively attacked this creature. But like with the other creatures on this list, it does not have an aberrant. It does not have there is no X variant yet. But I think the Caprosuchus or Succus or the Capro, as some people call them, could do with some kind of alteration. Now, this creature I don't think needs a TLC. I mean, maybe you can fix the teeth, I guess. But the whole galloping crocodile thing is really, really scary and really awesome. So, an X variant or even an aberration variant, much like the next creature on this list, would be really, really clean. And honestly, why not? The Capro is a creature that I very much enjoy once it's tamed anyway. And, getting mutations for it, while it was an annoying process, I still had a lot of fun. It was great. But as far as what you can really do with it, I mean, look at the Spinosaurus and the T-Rex and the Allosaurus. The creatures that have already gotten an X variant. These guys, I mean, it could be cool. It could be really cool. And I could see maybe some striping or some spots down the back. In between those little scale bits on the back. I don't know what you call those. I'm not a reptile expert. But those little bumpy scale things on the back, maybe you could put some like patterns down the back right there on those bits. That could be really cool. Maybe like the lower legs, much like on the X Spino, that could be its own region. The belly could be its own region, obviously. But heck, maybe you can even have the head itself be its own region. I don't know. But yeah, the Capro could definitely do with an X and even aberrant variant. I mean, again, why not? All right, so now for the final creature possibly on this list, we have the Sarcosuchus. I almost said Caprosuchus, but like with the Capro, this guy does not have an X variant, possibly yet. This is the last creature I will be using that has gotten a TLC because the TLC creatures, I mean, it's obvious why not. But this creature is available on Aberration and is probably one of the first creatures I'll be taming, if I'm quite honest. But this guy could definitely. It would be interesting to see an X variant. Same with the Capro. Same with everything else. I mean, and my point of reference, yet again, is the X creatures we already have. I mean, look, the Spino, the Rex, the Parasaur, the Parasaur, even. Um, why not? Like with the Capro, you could definitely put some like patterns down the back, maybe. And due to the fact that there's multiple regions within the body, maybe you can even do like, oh, this bit has stripes. There's spots on this part, or much like the Spino, the lower legs again could be a region that you can use. I don't know. The Sarcos are already a really cool creature. It is one of my favorites. I don't really tame it all that much because, well, I mean, aside from the TLC, there's not really much you can do with it right now. And much like I made a snide comment about the Direwolf at the end there, on Alpha Sarco would be kind of cool. I'm just saying, more alpha creatures would definitely be clean. There was for a while an idea to have more alpha creatures. I think the Stego was one of them. But why not add the Sarcos to that list? I'm going to throw in Alpha Sarco and Alpha Direwolf to this list. Why not? And yeah, Sarcosuchus. There's so much you can really do with these creatures, and you know what? The Sarco is definitely one of them, as it has access to all 6 regions. I think it could be really cool. I think it could be a lot of fun. There's, again, like with everyone else on this list, there's so much you can do with these creatures. There's no limitation. Heck, if I had the capability, I'd design X variants of these creatures myself. You know what? I might actually do that. I'm already designing something for the Spino. Wink. But yeah, Sarco. Why not? Alright guys, that is my list for creatures that I think could do with an X variant, or in some cases an aberrant variant. And I just chose 8 because that's a nice even number, and it's not too many, it's not too little. But these are really really cool creatures I would love to see get some kind of alteration, and that's kind of the whole point of this video. But there could be more. There could be a part 2. There could be more creatures that could be added to this list at a different stage. But I would like to know, what creatures would you like to see in X or aberrant version show up in Genesis Part 2? This is all theory and speculation. And this is also one of my favorite things to do, honestly, especially when it comes to DLCs or anything that I know almost nothing about. But anyways, do let me know your thoughts. What kind of patterns would you like to see on the creatures of this list, or even creatures that are not on this list? Maybe like the Griffin, or or a Wyvern. I did passively mention these creatures, but some alteration to them would be really cool. And yeah, what creatures would you add, and what would you do to the creatures that are on this list? That's basically my question. And if you guys did enjoy the video, do not forget to drop it a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. And of course, we'll be seeing you all next time. Have a good one, guys.